Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Dinks with Kinks, where we talk all the sexy things and you like to listen to the sexy things. I want to remind everybody that we are in fact on that social media, so reach out to us and tell us your sexy things, your kinks, at Dinks with Kinks on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Forgive me, folks, for I am John, and with me as always, the Holy Trinity of Miss Rebecca.
Hello, everyone.
And the spiritual ghost of Mr. Shep.
Hello everyone.
Hey. You know, this was a kink that threw me for a loop.
Yeah?
I thought we'd be talking a lot about God tonight. We are, in fact, not. This is some godless sex.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, you might want to turn around. You took a wrong turn.
We are absolutely talking about Stygiophilia, which is the arousal of being punished by hellfire. You want to watch Satan, you want Satan to watch you fuck. That's pretty much what I'm getting from this.
So fuck me, Satan.
Yeah.
Fuck
No,
me,
I don't.
Jesus.
No.
No?
I think this is more. You want to be punished for your naughty deeds.
Oh, I see.
Did you guys
I
ever
always want to be
read?
punished for my naughty deeds.
Did you guys ever read the what was it? The Leonardo? No, wait, what was it?
Dante's
It had Tom
Inferno?
Hanks in the movie. No, it had Tom Hanks in the movie. It was about a bunch of puzzles that solved like ancient puzzles.
Oh,
Hudson
Da
Hawk,
Vinci's
maybe?
Code? Da
No.
Vinci Code?
Da Vinci's Code. The Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Where they had the
I
one
have to
nut.
say,
Yeah, the
read
monk who liked to.
Yeah.
You
The
read
flog themselves.
things.
Self-flagellation, right?
Yeah, because they were they needed to be
Self-flagellation.
punished for their impure thoughts. And this is somebody who gets impure thoughts and thinks about being punished, and it turns them on. But not just any punishment, not just getting a couple hours on Shep's cross, but being cast to the bowels of hell.
I mean, we're not talking like Christian hell. Like we're talking like Hades, like Greek old time, like Styx river, like hell, right?
Oh yeah, old
I mean,
school
that's
hell.
sort of hot. I mean, you can think about that. Like that's sort of hot. Like I feel like Hades would be hot. Hades got Persephone. I feel like that's a thing. I feel like that's hot.
No, I mean the Hades version is slightly different. That's Hediophilia.
Yeah. Hediophilia. After the Greek god.
Heliophilia.
Because
Yeah,
Hades,
the
he
word
always
Hades.
wants to fill you.
Ah!
Or as I like to call it, James,
What?
a James Wood boner.
Oh, ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, Scandy. Because he voiced Hades in the Hercules
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, Hercules. Is
And
that what you think?
Hercules.
Hercules.
And it had Danny DeVito, and it
Yeah.
had Bobcat Goldthwait.
I
Bobcat
love
Goldthwait.
Hercules. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite.
That's a
Disney
good
movies.
movie. That's a solid movie, and I kind of get off watching that man's head glow bluer too. So
Yes, but I mean, I don't know. It's just the idea of being bad and being punished for being bad as a masochist and a sub. I can see that though.
I mean, many people get spanked more as an adult more than they did as a child.
I don't know. I was a pretty bad child. I got spanked often.
With a little
So,
practice, I'm sure we could help that offset.
oh yeah, that's true. So, so why do you think that people are into being punished? Like they get that desire and
honestly, I think it really boils down to like a taboo fetish, doing something naughty. Like at its core concept, it's, you know, looking at it as like a psychological point, it is the same thing of getting in trouble as a kid. That negative reinforcement, except I get off on the negative reinforcement or the potential of negative reinforcement. Like, it's more or less not so much to do with religion. I mean, yes, it is a religious-based kink, but like looking down, like in like more of the like the psychology of it. But it's the ultimate. That's the ultimate punishment. You can't get any more punished than being literally sent to hell.
I don't know. I've worked in some places that are very, very close.
I was gonna say, or being sent to some places that I will not name because we may have listeners there.
Yes, no, we will not name.
Looking real hard at Florida. Just saying, I would never out Florida on here, but I'm looking real hard at Florida. You know what you did.
I don't know. That southern state of Maine's looking pretty naughty up there. Just sitting up there in the
Oh
woods.
yeah, down in the south, this great southern state of Maine. They know. They also know what they did. But no, I think this is really the people, and it's not so much getting caught; it's the risk of getting caught.
Yeah, and in doing like it's almost arousal. Does that make sense? Like I can see it almost being scare arousal. On a religious base. I know a lot of this isn't religion, but like I think like some people who have that, because you have that fear of going to hell. And oh, it's really hot because like you don't want to go to hell, but you want to be bad. And like that whole dynamic of it's that you're afraid to go to hell, but you do it anyway. And it, can scare you and arouse you at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From what I read, it doesn't matter what they're doing either. Like there's no particular set of sex. It's not about the sex. It's about the potential of being punished for sex. So, like, it could be anything. It could be as simple as not doing it missionary to you're my fifth cousin, first removed. You might actually be my sister sex. It's sinful.
There's a whole category of Pornhub for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's... So that is viewer's choice. That is like, if you have this fetish, whatever you deem as sinful is really will really get you off. It's not so much the act as how you view it as far as sinful. If you meet somebody, if you have this fetish and you meet somebody and they're like, doing any other way other than a missionary is a sin, all you're thinking is, man, we're going to doggy style our way to hell.
I'm gonna ride this pony to hell.
Ride it, my pony. Ooh, does that make like the circles of hell? Is that like a cock ring? It just gets smaller the deeper you go into it. Like I
like to imagine.
The deeper you go, the tighter it gets. I hear.
Well, I mean, you could say that the simple act of talking about sex is also like naughty, and you could get punished, like just what we're doing right now. Like, ooh, I'm listening to this naughty, kinky podcast. I don't know. Like, I can see that.
It's quite sinful to talk sexual things with those not within your partnership.
Absolutely, and a lot of these people have, with fire aspects, heat. They get really turned on with the thought of like fire play, not even fire play, but just like near a fire, flames, like almost like what I call Mothman kink.
Mothman kink.
Mothman kink. You're attracted to the flame.
Mothman. Okay, so I know that this is saying that this isn't a Christian kink. Like this didn't have anything to do with Christianity. But if that's the case, then hellfire is Christian based, right? Like the hellfire, that whole idea.
No, hellfire, like our version of hell, is bastardized from many other religions.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah. like I said, just because Christianity has a very similar place of, or concept of hell, which actually, believe it or not, the Christian concept of hell is nothingness, not fire and brimstone. The actual core concept of Christianity is hell is absolute nothingness.
So could we combine this with the sensory deprivation? So if Christian idea of hell is nothing,
Well, we couldn't combine this one.
I mean, I'm going to put you in a deprivation thing? No? Okay.
How about
I'm trying.
No,
I'm trying.
I don't know. That was just a fun Christianity fact. For you.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed.
I would like to believe, and from what I'm reading about this is very much more pertaining to mythological than actual religion. Like a very, or even like just the idea of the cartoon version of hell. Everything from the mythological standpoint of like the river Styx to there's a guy in a red suit and a pointy tail and horns. You know, how we teach kids what hell is. Because even Christian kids are taught hell is fire and brimstone and whatnot. Even though Christianity, the actual religion, if you look up the definition of hell, it's completely different than what every kid pictures hell. And that's what this is like hellfire, brimstone, that kind of deal. So like fucking on hot concrete might be a thing for you.
Like hot, like I don't know. That I mean, I find fire hot. I don't know. Would you
not just
say
fire, but heat. Like
would
burns.
you say you have this kink, or it like for example, I find it hot because I find kink hot because it's naughty. Like I do, but I don't find it. But I don't find the thought of damnation. Just that I'm doing something bad. Is that the same thing?
No.
Okay.
That is, you have a, what's the word? Temperature, sensation, play, fire, and whatnot. But you don't want to be punished in fire. You don't want to be thrown into that fire at any point.
No.
Do you? Yeah,
No.
like.
I mean, no.
Burned
no,
at the
no.
stake.
Well, I'm sure some of my ancestors were, but no, it does not turn me on.
I mean, if I'm feeling a little frostbit, then maybe, but
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So,
But this one is definitely, a very mental and also kind of visual aspects to it, because you're going to be looking at a lot of, whether it's artworks or movies and stuff like that, where you have a lot of the sexual acts, but then surrounded by dark elements such as flames and stuff like that.
mm-hmm. Also, a very popular, closely related kink is pecatophilia, which is the arousal inspired by a commitment of sins or the feeling of guilt.
Oh, see that one.
Like-
I probably have that one. I think I have that one.
Like, do you get aroused if you know you're probably going to get busted for something? Okay, so it's report card day. You know you failed. And that nervous feeling in your stomach that I'm going to get punished for this, that gut wrench of I'm about to get grounded for a very long time because I screwed up and I got an F in gym class. That childhood trauma.
Fear. Yeah.
Yeah, that fear.
Uh-huh.
That is what this arousal is.
So that mystery boner wasn't a mystery after all.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just escalated. That's really what
did.
As far as what I could tell is just like you're an adult. There's not a lot that you can be punished with outside of like prison.
Oh,
No,
that's what we're talking about.
Not
Okay.
good. Yeah, not punishment.
You get aroused.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
get aroused from that guilty
Because-
feeling of that surprised butt sex.
A lot a lot of this doesn't revolve at all around punishment. Like, to them, this is not a good thing.
Like legitimate punishment, like
Legitimate,
Okay.
like
that makes sense.
hardcore, the worst punishment imaginable, which, you know, is hell, because that's
Or like,
they're the people. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, Chef.
Right. Well, I was gonna say it's like people within open relationships can almost experience the last one you just mentioned, because you know, even though everything is open, established, well communicated and everything else, but then the act of being with someone not your partner for some people could still garner a back of the mind almost slight guilt feeling. And so those that experience those types of sinful commitment, sinful acts because you are not with your designated partner, those could actually be practitioners of these kind of things as well.
Do you ever seen the movie Hellraiser?
I mean, maybe.
Yes.
These are the people who willingly opened the box, knowing what was inside.
Pandora?
No, hell.
Oh.
I do believe Hellraiser 2, the antagonist in that one, the doctor, he knew what was inside that box. He knew it was hell, and he wanted.
That's why he had other
experience
people
it.
open it.
Yeah, he wanted. He was like getting off on the fact that people were being sent to hell and punished. And I wish I could remember his name. He was a doctor something, and Hellraiser 2 had this fetish.
So do you think
Stygiophilia.
that is it the same as you think, like you just said, sending somebody else to hell gets you off as well, or is it just you?
Well, I mean, I'll put it this way: I have a pantyhose fetish. I enjoy wearing them, but I really much enjoy watching you wear them.
Ah.
I mean, I know. I've seen my legs, and I know they probably look good with them on, but I'm still not doing it, John. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll get you in them one day, Shep. It's happening. Also,
John,
I'd like to see
I have never
Rebecca
worn
in them.
pantyhose around you. Yeah, I was just sitting there thinking,
Not
I've
once.
never worn.
Not once.
Well,
That's
because
hell
probably
for
you didn't
ya.
want him humping your leg in public.
torture.
Probably.
But he's such a good boy.
But that's the thing, is like it could be either or. It's not neglected to one or the other. It's just the idea of being sent to hell for your actions, which kind of makes this. It's one of those fetishes where it's very hard to explain outside of having this fetish. Like I could imagine having this fetish and trying to explain it to other people being difficult, because, like I said, it's not so much what we do, it's just that we think it might be sinful.
So is it like, okay, because you were talking about other people, like that I get turned on by just the thought of somebody getting karma, somebody getting punished for their karma, or is it hell specific?
For this one, definitely hell. It's like, it's one of those things where this is the extreme version of that.
Gotcha.
Because hellfire. And as far as I say, it's like, I don't know if it goes to the extent of outside of the people you know and are attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
So,
I don't...
Yeah. It's not
I don't
Schadenfreude.
want to see... Yeah, it's not Schadenfreude, where I want to see stuff happen to people I don't know. But, like, I think you're hot. I would love to see you dragged into hell. I would love to be dragged into hell with you.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
you know
'cause,
what?
I mean-
I own some property down there. You want to join me? I got a spare room.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, the first half of this word is literally named after anything's dealing with the river Styx, you know? So it's the journey to hell.
The journey. It's all about the journey. It's always about
All about the journey.
Because I'm going there. I want to go there.
And a little brimstone for spice.
Adds a little flavor. That aromatic smell of
A
brimstone.
little,
Do you think that?
little flavor that
Do you
we
think that
savor.
was? Speaking of smells, like because the smells are very important to memory and turning on. Do you think that like brimstone, the smell of fire or burning, that can also affect their arousal?
Absolutely, actually.
I wonder if they're triggered by sulfur.
Yeah, sulfur, the idea, like the smelling of fire, probably does arouse them. Crackling of fire. Like, 'cause with a lot of fire play, fire crackles and the sound of fire. Fire doesn't really make a sound if it's controlled in a fire situation where it's burning on skin and all that. But the sound of like a roaring fire, and when I mean roaring, you know what sound of like a roaring fire, like this will kill you.
Right. There's a distinct sound. There's a distinct roaring of like you get in bonfires, or even like if you've ever been near forest fires or something that's gone out of control. There's a definite sound of burning and things just disintegrating, and it's actually very primal. That feeling and listening to that sound, I feel like it's very I find that very sensual.
Probably not the same way these people do.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, because you're not sitting there going, "Man, I wish I was in that fire."
No.
And I think that's where this really, because like I said, sometimes we have these kinks where we can come to like, I kind of understand this concept outside of it, but without having this fetish, it's very hard to put yourself in those shoes. Because again, those shoes want to be burning in a fire, burning in hell.
I can see this being. It's not something that I have, but I can see it being sexy. I can see that. Now, I also have a question. Do you think it aligns with degradation?
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think
Not
so.
in this case.
No.
It's not
And
a
only reason
demeaning
being,
act.
yeah,
It's committing
they don't
sins.
want. Yeah, it's a rebellious. Almost. It's like, I know I'm going to go to hell for this. I don't care.
Oh.
If I stick this there, I'm going to hell. But I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
The very anti-hero.
It is.
I'm going to be
It
very
is the
anti-hero.
ultimate. It's the ultimate bratting.
Oh.
It's uber bratting.
I now need to. I feel
Yep,
now.
there you go.
Yeah.
This
I
is
don't have
brat.
this kink, and now I'm sad. I'm sad.
This is brat on like maximum level.
Oh,
Too funny.
forgive me, Daddy. I've been bad.
Daddy doesn't care. You're going to
Daddy
hell.
does not care.
And
No,
that
no.
would get you off. Yeah. God saying, nope, not my problem.
Denying me the
Forgive
pearly
me,
gate.
Daddy, for I haven't sinned. Oh,
Or
yes,
the
you
pearl
will
necklace,
when I am
whichever.
within.
So yeah, like I said, I wouldn't say it's a strange fetish, but it's very hard to connect with. And if you have this fetish, please reach out to us.
It is a
Because-
very mentally based
Yeah.
fetish.
Yeah. This is very much a headspace that, like so when you're researching, you can get to the science facts of it, but you can't get really to the emotional facts. And as far as I can tell, I've not found an interview with anybody with it. I've not really found porn for this. So but it is a fetish that people have. So I want to know if this is your kink. Please reach out to us at Dinks with Kinks, any of the social medias, and say, hey, I do have this fetish. You nailed it, or you did it wrong. Let us know. We'll do a correction. Absolutely.
Or if it nailed you, I mean, we want to hear about it.
I'm actually curious because where the basis of this fetish is, because it isn't religious based. It's not a fetish that it could be, but it's usually not. So if you do have this fetish and you're listening and I really am fascinated, and I want to know sort of how you discovered it, because we often talk about when our kinks and fetishes, when we discuss them, sort of like, nature versus nurture, media driven. Like, this is one that is it goes beyond a specific point. And I'm just curious, like, how did they stumble upon it? Like, did they brat out one time and go, yeah, and like have an orgasm?
I honestly, I think it really boils down to it helps growing up in a religious family, so you have that knowledge to breed over to it, or at least understanding like Greek mythology. The river Styx. You have a concept of hell, but I think a lot of it starts very smallly. I think it's a progression. I think it's just like I'm gonna get punished by my parents, and I'm really turned on by it. Like, I know it's coming. I know what I'm doing is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it's oh so right.
Yeah. So it's like, like somebody telling you don't touch this, and you want to touch it, and you shouldn't. The whole time you shouldn't, but you're doing it anyway.
And the minute you touch it, you climax.
And you put your mouth on it.
Yeah. Yeah. They say don't touch it, and you immediately fuck it.
You say fuck it, and you know what? Everybody walks away happy, I guess.
Don't push this button. Well, you just doom this button to have my dick on it.
Hand.
Yep.
You said don't touch it with my hand.
It does sound like a very
about my dick.
Yeah, it does sound like a very fascinating fetish that I am like I want to know more about. So
I can drop a boob on it,
I do want our audience to reach out if somebody with this fetish. Tell them about the podcast. Be like, hey, they talked about your kink. Go tell them if they did a good job or not. Or if you have this fetish, reach out. Also, if this is not your fetish, but you have a fetish and we haven't covered it, reach out.
I would actually love for someone listening to us, if they experience this or have a inkling more of it, to reach out to us. I'd love to learn more, because you're right, there's not a lot of information. There's like the basis of what it is, but that's it. There's not a lot of history behind it or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you diddly squat where this originated from. Just that it originated.
I mean, we found the micropene,
and it was probably after the river Styx was discovered. I don't know if it was before the band Styx was a thing.
Ooh, which is better, the river Styx or the band?
Depends if you have this fetish or not.
The band playing down the river of Styx.
The ultimate fantasy.
But with that said, it's time to spin our wheel, see what we're talking about next week. Could be the opposite. I get turned on by doing good deeds.
Is that a praise?
The hero complex.
Actually, I think that would be more of a hero complex, yeah. All right, here we go. Spinning the wheel. Seeing where it's going to land.
Spinny spin. Oh.
You spin me right round, baby, right round.
Oh, we got another one that I just have to look up how to pronounce.
Oh no.
We need to help you, English.
Maybe. Let me look this up real quick.
Let me look it up and down so I say you're right.
Okay, so I'm not going to say the actual word. I'm going to say that for next week.
Okay.
But we're going to take a real introspective. We're going to really look at ourselves.
Mirror? Is mirrors?
It's mirrors. We are talking about Stygiophilia.
I thought we were going to try it until next week.
Oh, I'm not going to pronounce it correctly till next week. I'm going to butcher it this week, and then by next week, learn how to pronounce it. But we're going to talk about having any type of intercourse in front of a mirror. And the look on Rebecca's face, she may have this kink.
Oh, I totally do, and I'm so excited.
Do I need to even show up for this episode? I think this is going to be just a Rebecca episode.
We could just put a mirror up and let Rebecca talk to herself in the mirror.
I mean,
quite like like you do for a bird. You put the mirror in the bird cage, and the bird will talk to itself and be happy as a clam about it.
I am so excited. You have no idea.
we see it.
Oh, fantastic! Well,
She's
I gotta
happy as a
say,
puppy
this
with two
is-
peckers, everyone.
and she's definitely not going to hell for it. So.
Oh,
mean,
all
that we
the
know of.
all the deeds I'm doing in front of those mirrors. Yes, I am.
All right. Well, they say it's the portal to the other side, so could be how you get
Break
there.
on through to the other side.
I've been your host, John Dundera, and with me, as always, the very beautiful and the very illustrious Mr. Shep.
See, the hands up. We're hands up for everything. I
And a
knew it.
woman we would love to see in a house of mirrors, Miss Rebecca.
Good evening, everyone.
Good night.